You say the police officers have not been paid.
Yes.
How many of them? Where are they located?
Right Honorable Speaker.
And how much is involved?
Right Honorable Speaker, when I presented this case, I was approached as I was traveling to Tororo over the Easter period. I stopped over in Jinja.
Now let's not go on to a fishing expedition.
No, Right Honorable Speaker.
Listen, Sarah. When you are approached as a good legislator, we expect you to go and find out how much money are the police officers demanding, who are these police officers, for you to come up with a very good statement to the floor. Because if we are going to go on to a fishing expedition and just get any information in the street, then we will not be legislating well. Let's have, so that if we are budgeting, so that we are able to know that how much money is expected, 300 billion. So that we say this money must go to the police, because these people are very important to us. We need to know the people who have not paid the money. As far as I know, salaries always take first call. Honorable Minister, is that correct? Wages take first call.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I share the same opinion which you have. The issue could be something else. Otherwise, if it is wage takes first call, and we expect all our civil servants across government to have been paid by 28th of the month. I suggest that we link up with internal affairs to find out where the exact problem is. Thank you.
We need to get all the information so that we know what we are discussing about.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for giving way. The matter of missing salaries, I think it's not unique to even police. I think it's a matter we don't need to just put down the carpet. It's a serious problem, Right Honorable Speaker. In my constituency, there are teachers that have missed.
Aisha, that is a very serious problem. We cannot live with the armed forces who are not paid. But we are saying, let's have all the details. Let's have all the details. So that we task finance to have these people paid. Whether it is nurses, teachers, doctors, whoever, let's have a comprehensive statement or report on this, which is both quantitative and qualitative. You need to have figures when you're making any report.
Honorable Speaker, I think...
Sarah, you will come on the issue of the judgment. Let's first sort out.
Thank you, Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I think the only way to get all information is us to take interest and maybe have an inquiry. Sarah was approached, even as officers approach us, as a concerned entity. Can we put up an inquiry instead of putting it to Sarah to go now look for her informers? It's a very important matter. Can we institute an inquiry and see whether police officers will appear or not? But indeed, they are there that have been missing salaries.
Let me tell you, if you called for a meeting with the police officers, they will not come. They will fear. Yes. So let's get information the way we are supposed to get the information, other than just because we will talk here and they will not help them. So let's get all the information the way the information was got before. Yes, no, I want AG first to respond. Is it on this one?
Madam Speaker and colleagues, I think that when we have such challenges, the ideal thing would be to get to our district accounting officers to get the exact problem. Because if I have teachers in my constituency and they are claiming they have not been paid, the first person to ask is the accounting officer. Exactly. And he has put it in writing. Then I bring the petition or a letter here or to the ministry so that I table with evidence. But when we say we put an inquiry, where do we start from? I think we have an obligation as MPs to make sure that these issues that touch wage, for example, when we have wage shortfalls, we ask them to write so that we have evidence, and we approach finance so that we can table these issues.
Thank you. Workers?
Yeah.
Margaret?
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I think these people are trying to get out of the cocoon, because the newspaper of today, this is Monitor, is talking about how policemen spent 8 years without salary. So I'm sure the person who has been recorded, and I'm sure that he also...
Which paper is that?
Monitor. Of today. I buy newspapers.
And you believe it?
Yes. Yes. And he says, one of them, that he spent 8 years without salary, and the salary is equivalent to 42 million that he has not received. Let us not take this.
Honorable
lightly.
Minister, I
due
think you need to
respect.
take that up. Honorable Prime Minister, you need to take that up and find out who are those police officers who have taken, whether it is 3 months, whether it is 8 years, and find out the real cost.
Thank you.
The real cost, and not only police officers. We have the teachers, we have the doctors, we have the nurses. The issue of the court ruling, Honorable Attorney General.
I think, Right Honourable Speaker, what I can do is I can just write to your office and show you that we appealed, because I did say that I appealed. Now she's telling me that the appeal is not there, but I'm the one who appealed. So what you can do is I can write to you this afternoon and show you that we filed the appeal.
Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker, just to inform you that the Minister of Internal Affairs presented a report regarding the salaries of the missing police officers, and even gave us statistics. But he mixed it with other, people who had absconded. And the Minister of Public Service acknowledged that there was actually a problem. They were transiting from one system to another, and in the process, some people have gotten their records, off the system, distorted. So that is partially the reason. And the Minister of Public Service had indicated that they had started correcting, and she was supposed to bring a statement. But, Right Honourable Speaker, on the issue of the police officers, the lawyers within the police force, Right Honourable Speaker, when there is a judgment, and the judgment issued against our own actions, it baffles me, Right Honourable Speaker, because there was another case of salaries, of the downgrading of salaries of employees sometime back within the Ministry of Health. And when they appealed the decision of downgrading their salaries, this letter was written by the Attorney General. And it is the basis on which the police officers picked the Attorney General's letter dated 3rd August 2023 and went to court. And if I may quote from the Attorney General, my good friend Kiriowa Kiwanuka, this is what he said in this letter. He was quoting the Constitution, where any salary or allowance of the holder of any office is charged on the consolidated fund, it shall not be altered to his or her disadvantage after he or she has been appointed to that office. And he went on to advise that it would also amount to a breach by the employer of their terms of employment, and accordingly we reiterate our guidance as follows: that there is already a contract, the accounting officers cannot change the terms of employment of officers. Right Honourable Speaker, I am raising this because these police officers are actually stuck. Some of them got loans against the enhanced salaries. And now they are earning almost nothing because the entire money is going into clearing the loans. I want to lay on table, Right Honorable Speaker, this is a court document in the system referring to this case.
The photocopied document is what you want to lay on table?
This is...
Bring the original and you lay it on table, not the photocopies.
Okay, allow me hand it to the Attorney General. It clearly indicates, Right Honorable Speaker, that the case was closed. There is no case actually in court. But the issue here, Right Honorable Speaker, there is a court judgment. So letters cannot work in this case. And these are police officers who are lawyers, whom the president gave an executive order that all lawyers across the board should have their salaries enhanced at the same level because the police was losing lawyers to other entities of the government. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think the government should resolve this matter.
You have the executive order.
Right Honorable Speaker, I presented the court judgment.
No, I'm saying there was executive order on increment of salaries for...
Right Honorable Speaker, unless I now pick all these documents and lay them, you'll give me time to...
A member whom I've explained to the legal position, I've appealed the position, doesn't want me to appeal. Now tomorrow, when these things happen again, they'll say the Attorney General. Now this document that you're referring to, Honorable Member, is the document in the High Court. We don't appeal High Court decisions in the High Court. We appeal High Court decisions in the Court of Appeal. So when you go to the High Court to check whether this case is there, because it was concluded by the judge, it does not appear in the schedule of the matters in the High Court. So if you want to find out whether we appealed, you go to the Court of Appeal and find out whether there is an appeal there. However, colleagues, if the salary is supposed to be increased, and I'm not saying the salary of police officers should not be increased, what I'm asking for, colleagues, let's do it properly. And that's what we said the last time. We left the administrative aspect to the Ministry of Public Service to do that properly. However, if we leave this precedent on the record, colleagues, it will not be good for government. So let the public service handle the administrative aspect of dealing.
Yes, Lop.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is a saying I read many years ago, I'm not even too sure who it is attributed to, that I may disagree with what you say, but I will defend to death your right to say it. I may have issues with the bill being promoted by my sister, Honorable Nakut, but I think she has the right to bring her bill, and then we get to see how we deal with it. My concern, and yes, we are going to have occasion to deal with it in the committee stage, and then ultimately when we get to the House and we discuss, how plausible it is that you can force people, you sit and negotiate and discuss by force. We'll get to that point. My concern though, Right Honorable Speaker, even as she has a right to bring any kind of bill in this House, I have an issue and I request for your guidance procedurally, Right Honorable Speaker. There is a hurriedness through which we seem to be doing these things, which is concerning. Yesterday, she did seek leave to bring this bill. I don't know where the consultations got to happen as quickly as they have happened. Certificate of financial implication.
The committee is going to make consultation.
Honorable Speaker, kindly allow me, because you're going to rule, let me just finish my procedural issue for your guidance, Right Honorable Speaker. So she's gotten the certificate of financial implication. Maybe in the night, government is saying they don't sleep. Okay. But then, and as I connect this even to the other bill that was tabled yesterday for the first reading, the UPDF amendment bill, yesterday it gets to be read for the first time, and there is a notice in the night, and people are being told different stakeholders, Ministry of Defense, Attorney General, Law Reform Commission, Uganda Law Society, LDC, Secretary Generals of political parties, who were invited in the night to say, you come with your memoranda this morning at 9 a.m. to the committee to give your views on the UPDF amendment bill. This is a bill that is over 140 pages. People receive it in the evening, and there is a notice, including a gazette, Right Honorable Speaker, which was signed by the clerk to Parliament, saying, bring your memoranda not later than today, 14th. I don't know. It is suspect, Right Honorable Speaker, that we expect people hurriedly read through this bill in the night, come in the morning with a memoranda and views. Why do we seem to be rushing, Right Honorable Speaker? Because if these bills are good, the political parties and organizations amendment bill, the UPDF amendment bill, if they are good laws, why do we produce procedure, Honorable Chimosho? The rules don't allow you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. So as I was saying, why, if these are good laws, why, I'm on procedure. Honorable Chimosho, you're a new member like me, kindly read the rules. The rules are very clear. Procedure takes precedence. The way I read as a first-time MP, I encourage you to also read them. And the new rules, by the way. Thank you, Honorable colleague. Honorable, as I was finishing.
You're not going to lecture my
No, I'm just encouraging him to read. Actually, Honorable Speaker, you should be happy that I'm encouraging members to read our rules. But as I finish, Right Honorable Speaker, if these bills are good bills, why do you not want to give them time? We excogitate over them. The different stakeholders get time to prepare their views and memoranda, come with it to the committees, and then we get to discuss them properly. Why are we hurrying? And Honorable Speaker, I want to table the notice that was put in the Gazette yesterday saying, bring your memoranda and your thoughts not later than today, and also the notice, the letter from the committee inviting Secretaries General and so on, written in the night saying, come at 9 a.m. and give us your views about a bill that's 140 pages plus. Why are we in a hurry, Right Honorable Speaker? Why do we not give it time, get all the views? Because they are good bills. Allow people to give their input, and then we can debate these good bills. Thank you.
Thank you. We are only trying to be efficient as Parliament, and we should do the work and deliver within the time we expected. But that does not mean that if we have said, if clerk has said, bring your views, that the bill will be brought the next day. The committee is going to continue interrogating and come with the report. I'm not saying they are bringing it today. Yeah, they will give the stakeholders time.
Madam Speaker.
I mean, there is no hurry.
Madam Speaker.
There is no hurry.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. The leader of opposition lectured me on how he has been reading the rules and how he has mastered them. But in his verbal utterances, didn't refer this Parliament to any rule that has been breached by a member.
Done.
And when you're on a point of procedure, Right Honourable, he ought to have referred to us which procedure of our rules has been breached. But when you talk randomly, because you're a leader of opposition, is he therefore procedurally right to keep wasting Parliament time because he's a leader of opposition and we listen to endless nothing?
Next item. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper.
Jonah? What does the...
Thank you, right. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the procedure I want to raise is that yesterday you had made some guidance, you can call it a ruling, when the Honorable Matthias Mpuga had also sought to raise these issues, and you said he's free to go to the committee. I wanted you to be clear whether the committee can entertain proposals that have not formally been introduced here, given that the advice was for him to work with the mover so that his ideas are incorporated. That's the first one. But the second one is to congratulate, I think, the House and Parliament and you, Madam Speaker, my learning of how parliamentary system works is that whenever a private member's bill, which is a right, is successful, it is an equivalent of a vote of no confidence in government, because government is the principal proposer of laws. So once there is success by a private member, it is a vote of no confidence in government. And I want to congratulate the House. Thank you.
It is actually not a vote of no confidence to government. All of us are part of government. AG.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the Constitution envisaged, the framers, our forefathers, were very wise. They envisaged that when a private member wants to write a bill, he will work with government. And we work together so to be able to do the laws that are good for this country. So it is, but whether government fails or has an idea, we want to share your views as well. So it's not a vote of no confidence, but we shall look at the bill, and if we failed in our duty, we shall be sure to come and say we did, but I don't think we did.
UPC. Let me first hear from the president of UPC. On who? Let's hear from the president first.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have a critical matter concerning this bill because it touches on iPod, where I have been central to in crafting and coming to a point whereby we can have this actual dialogue. But I would like to lay on table a letter written on the 2nd of April 2025 addressed to the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. It's a brief letter. I request I can read through it.
What is the letter about? I thought that's what you would take to the committee. You discuss it in the committee.
It's important. I think I read it and lay it on the table for the record. The subject matter is request to convene an urgent meeting between the heads of political parties and the Independent Electoral Commission on party funding. Subject to Article 14A.
Honorable Kena, we are discussing the merits of the bill, which has not come to the floor. Attorney General, is that really? Let's have it taken to the committee.
My understanding of Rule 134 is that once it goes to the committee, we wait to deal with the committee, but I don't know whether it is. I was answering the question put by the Speaker.
Right, Honorable Speaker, it would be helpful if we try to listen to one another.
Yes.
I think which is the basis of dialogue.
Anyway, let's
it's a basis of dialogue.
Let's allow him to.
Just a second.
Allow, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Right, Honorable Speaker, it's on the dress code.
Dan.
This is on the dress code, Right, Honorable Speaker. It's a dress code issue, Right, Honorable Speaker.
Madam
It's in our
Speaker.
rules.
Okay, first sit. Honorable Jimmy, just a minute. Honorable Jimmy, we made rules here, but for today, the Speaker gave Honorable Jimmy permission because he came and he sought permission in the office.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Can we listen?
Right Honorable Speaker, we are trying to deal. We're dealing with the
honorable
very
members. Can we listen to each other?
Can we deal with a serious matter which is affecting the processes within the political parties? The purpose of this letter was written and was confirmed today by the Minister of State for Finance, who raised the issue that we're in the final stages of the budget process. Article 14A prescribes how finances to political parties are handled in election year, and the meeting was requesting that we streamline this issue with our work plans to the election. Suddenly we find the private members bill which affects Article 14A, which we had raised, and this letter was written. And Madam Speaker, if I cannot read the letter, at least let me say who it was copied to. It was copied to the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, copied to the Leader of Opposition, copy to the presidents of NUP, FDC, GEMA, PPP, and the chairman of NRM, and the chairperson of the National Independent Electoral Commission. It was written by the president of Uganda People's Congress, signed and delivered on the 2nd of April. This touches the actual financing of political parties, and we're in the process, we're deep in elections, and now we're getting an amendment, and this amendment will directly affect this matter, which has been served on government, the ministry concerned, the political players concerned, and I'd wanted to lay this on table for the record because this letter was written on the 2nd of April to the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Honorable Norbert Mao. The subject matter is request to convene an urgent meeting between the heads of political parties and the Independent Electoral Commission on political parties funding because of the stage we are in the electoral process. So the above subject matter refers, subject to Article 14A, Section B of the Political Parties and Organizations Amendment Act 2010 that provides for the political parties on equal...
The procedural issue I have a lot of respect for Honorable Jimmy Akena. I don't know whether now this parliament is going to begin working on letters. In fact, I thought it's going to lay court order. So the procedural issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, can I repeat? Because I said I have lots of respect for Honorable Jimmy Akena. But as a first son, he's been fantastic. He doesn't keep people in the basement or teaching them his language. But the point, Madam Speaker, I thought that Honorable Jimmy Akena, because he's very forceful in his presentation, and actually I want to listen to him, I thought he's going to lay a court order. Because if I write a letter, why should Parliament be bothered by a letter that I wrote and stop business to attend to it? Because tomorrow, if I bring one of PFF, I have written to Electoral Commission, they haven't gazetted my party. So should I also bring it tomorrow and I stop discussion of a bill? Because the Electoral Commission has not issued the certificate.
The letter is for information. It will not stop anything. It will not. It even doesn't make anybody worried. The law will go ahead.
Madam Speaker, as political parties, we are worried. We are worried. We have crafted IPOD. We have sat in IPOD, and the chairman of NRM described the action of NRM as unchristian in how they handle the rest of the political parties. This bill will undermine everything we have tried to work for, and therefore I am laying on table this letter written on 2nd April 2025 addressing the subject matter of Section 14A, which has never been implemented in this Allow me to speak. I am here on my last term. I am not coming back to this parliament. Allow me to express myself for the future of Uganda. We are not going to tolerate this nonsense and backbiting and undermining the whole principles of democracy. We have put ourselves on the line. I said before anybody, I'm ready to go to State House just for a cup of tea. I cannot, no, Madam Speaker. This,
First calm down. Calm down.
When my country is going into a mess, we're going into an election, we're undermining the election, I will not be calm.
First calm down. Calm down. You lay your document.
I'm requesting that this is on record clearly. Article 14A, Section 14A of the Political Parties and Organization Act, the president of NRM describes the actions of NRM as unchristian. What we're doing now, as I said yesterday, is diabolical. We're undermining deliberately. Because out of nowhere, suddenly a bill comes, it is cleared, and this affects the very section 14A. I am on record here. This is something which I am not going to sit down and let it pass unchallenged. What you're doing is wrong. I'm telling you, what you're doing is wrong. And history will judge you correctly. I lay this letter on table because it touched on the subject matter. It touched on the timetable which we're in. Because even if this bill is now passed, how is it going to be implemented when the budget is already in place?
Thank you.
Please let us be honest with ourselves. Let us be honest with the country. This kind of undermining democracy will not be accepted in the Republic of Uganda.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, thank you.
Honorable members in the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of leaders from Bukedea District Local Government. They are represented by Ms. Akol Mary, the Bukedea District Chairperson. Welcome. Join me in welcoming my voters. Before you start, we have Mr. Emong Showan Ouma, Bukedea District Speaker. Most welcome, Speaker. Then we have Mr. Takan Alex, the District Local Government staff. They are represented by Honorable Ikojo, John Bosco, Honorable Poloti Shagi, Chairman Budget, and Honorable Triple A. Thank you. Welcome so much. Next item.
Thank you very much for indulging. Madam Speaker, Honorable Jimmy has raised an important thing.
Honorable Nathan.
No, Madam, just for simplicity.
Nathan, first sit. Next item.
Item 4 on the order paper.
So, my brother, the Honorable Jonathan, raising a matter that was not resolved by your guidance, he sought your guidance as to how the other matters related to the bill will be handled now that the bill has been tabled without an input. For instance, yesterday you gave good guidance. Did that guidance constitute...
I've not changed it.
Yes, I wanted clarity that probably it will solve his problem. Did that guidance constitute leave?
I have not changed my guidance. I said take all what you have on the political parties to the committee. That's what I said. I've not withdrawn it.
Honorable Speaker,
Attorney General, Honorable Matthias has an issue on political parties.
Right Honorable, I received the document yesterday afternoon, and I am looking at it, and I'm waiting for this bill to understand how they are related.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I mean, what he said is very instructive. Because a bill has been tabled, it has a memorandum with the clear objectives. An input to the same bill will disfigure the original bill. I do not know how that will be accommodated. Right, Honorable Speaker, would it be proper, again, if you allowed me to lay my own bill before Parliament, so that the House finds decent accommodation for it, and therefore assess on its own merit? Would that be...
No problem at all, even if you brought it tomorrow.
No, I'm actually ready.
Bring it. Next item.
No, I'm ready.
No, you bring it. Let's move as you bring. Let me have a look at it. Let's receive the report, and then we will allow him to apply for leave.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Yesterday, this Parliament instructed me to come up with a statement.
Yes. Yes.
While I sympathize with my brother, the Honorable Mpoga, who has had the benefit of doing law, I am constrained, I have to raise this point of procedure. There cannot be a bill just thrown on the table. The procedural issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether if you will not alter the order paper, we can move a motion for first reading, since government works these days like a robot. We can get finance to send us a certificate of financial application like they did with Honorable Nakut, and have a bill properly introduced. Otherwise,
Honorable Nakut thought for leave yesterday.
And that's why I'm thanking
And
them.
we are saying Honorable Mpuga seek for leave, and then the processes go on. You will ask for a certificate. Clerk has right asking for certificate.
Madam Speaker, and I thank you, because the one of Honorable Nakut, we left here at 6. I don't know whether she slept at finance.
Honorable.
So I am on the plea. You allow Honorable Mpuga also to sleep at finance and he gets it.
I don't determine where people sleep.
Meet Shelfabot and VisiBubble and drive real shopper engagement with interactive displays. Ask for a demo today.
And the UPDF for 80% of this bill, especially where it concerns the welfare of members of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I don't think we could have, or we should have, any contradiction, because all policymakers are very interested in having members of the UPDF catered for their welfare, including those that have become casualties. They are injured. How does the public look after them? And I think the bill goes a long way to address some of those. And I've got to congratulate you, Honourable Minister. However, there is only one aspect, listening to my colleague and also following the public conversation. Only one. And we are shifting the attention of a very good bill to one issue: trial of civilians by the army courts. That is all. That's where this contradiction is coming from. Nothing else. We should be speaking the same language. So what is the issue exactly? Mr. Chairman, I would like to speak with my head, but also with my heart. In conversations like this, sometimes we use our hearts, become emotional, and we forget the common sense. Or sometimes we are too brilliant and we don't think correctly. I want to talk directed to the court-martial officers who are here. All this problem has been caused by you. All this conversation has been caused by you. Why am I saying it? You failed to do what you are supposed to do in the law and veered into other things. And where you would have a legitimate case, like I'm going to support you on some aspects, here, you've spoiled your case. So as we give you a law, don't cause us more contradictions and problems. Let me give you an example. If there is this civilian Abdul Katuntu found with grenades, artillery pieces, why would, even if I'm a civilian, why would anybody have objections in me being tried by the court-martial? Because that is the purpose of the court-martial. These are weapons which ordinarily should be a monopoly of the UPDF. These are just war materials. A civilian who is having this sort of weapons, caliber of weapons, really, we would not be so much having a wider conversation. But if you start to pick a helmet and that become, what do you call them, these people? Is it called beret, whatever they are? And that becomes an issue. You are vulgarizing the issue. That's what the problem is. In law, and the landed Attorney General knows this, we all agree, if you aid and abet a crime, you are as culpable as the principal offender. That's the law. And we will not be having this problem if you people were restricting yourself to real service offenses and civilians aiding and abetting crime. We will not be having this conversation. Please listen to us. But once you veer into other issues because of other reasons, then you miss out on legitimate support. I hope you've listened to me. But I've looked at you, especially the gentlemen who are lawyers the other side. Please listen to what Ugandans are telling you. Just restrict yourself to the law and the purpose of the law. Let us go to the law now. Mr. Chairman, court judges came to the same conclusion. All of them had different reasons. So, you see, somebody will pick one reason from one judgment, then he thinks that is the Supreme Court decision. And thus, maybe at some point, we need now to sit ourselves and reconcile or harmonize the reasonings given by different judges. Because there is no single judgment which gives the same reasons. All judges came to the conclusion that it was unconstitutional, but giving different reasons. So can we go and address the reasons within the different judgment, such that we talk from the same length? Colleagues, you need to read those judgments. They are quite a number. And there is no lead judgment, except that the other one was the senior judge. Because if there was a lead judgment where all judges agree with the lead judgment, that would have been even easy. But the problem is every judge wrote his own judgment, but they concluded the same way. Now, to go back to say this is what court said, that's where I think we are having a problem. And we need to sit. I hope we get time as lawyers, read as lawyers, including the Attorney General's chambers, and we can harmonize. I hope we get some experts to give us some idea. You've invited them. And we can harmonize on that one, because it's quite easy to do that. Second, is it third? Any number. Mr. Chairman, let us look at clause 7. C. Clause 7C. Honourable Minister, why do we have this clause anymore in our laws? 7C. Members of the High Command as of 26 January 1986, whose names are set out in Schedule 3 to the Act. You know, I don't think it's very good drafting and legislating, to legislate for individuals. It is E. Yeah, it is actually E. This is not good legislation. That we are legislating that Abdul Katuntu is a member of the High Command until he dies. Really? I think we need to, first of all, the NRA has since then metamorphosized into the UPDF. It has moved on. Medals have been given. People have retired. I think the army should move on. For example, in this particular clause, Honourable Minister, assuming one is likely to survive up to 100 years, just imagine that you are having a 100-year-old officer to be a member by law of the High Command. It doesn't make legal sense, really, even common sense. So I think at some point, maybe this I should be talking to the UPDF, not to the minister. At some point, you need to revisit this principle. The officers have served, we've recognized them, they have retired, let them live their own lives. They don't have to be members of the army organ, top army organ by law. No. No, I think we need to revisit this. And I hope at some point you concede and we move on. Honourable Minister, look at page 15, you like Uganda. The commanders and experts as may be co-opted by the President to advise the High Command. You see, if you are advising the High Command, then you can't be a member. I think the High Command can co-opt people to advise them, not necessarily as members, but to bring their expertise. For example, we have seen members of cabinet, but there are people who sit in cabinet and advise cabinet, not necessarily them being members of cabinet. You would find, for example, National Planning Authority boss or Secretary General of the ruling party. I don't know whether it's possible. Those who come around, they listen into cabinet and they can be advised, but not necessarily that they become now members of the High Command. You need to look at this critically, because you need the services of advice, of experts. But you can't have an expert and then you are saying he's now a member. He's coming in as an advisor. And that's the power we need to give to the President to seek advice. Mr. Chairman, there is a good innovation by the bill of cross appeal, where you can appeal to the High Court. I think it's closed. Clause 57.
This is a High Court.
You see, I still have a problem. When you look at 2, clause 2, 225, clause 2. I don't know, Attorney General, whether you're there. Subsection 1 shall not affect the operations of any sentence imposed by a court-martial other than a sentence of death imposed by the general court-martial. You see, it means that you can only appeal about death and whether the trial was proper, but doesn't affect the sentence. Why should you have such a clause? That if somebody has been sentenced to life imprisonment, for example, and then the Court of Appeal has found that it was an sentencing impropriety in the legality and